Oh, that's great.
And they have to in.
Great.
And that's all I have on that budget, unless you guys have questions.
Anyone? Are you okay with it, Elizabeth?
Yep.
One quick comment, the library is a very essential part of this community, and like you were just expressing, photos, copiers, DMV things, we really appreciate the library. Thank you.
Thank you. We're
Glad
glad
to see
we
you.
could be here for the residents this time. It was a trying time for all of us.
Maybe the DMV would be willing to send us some of their money since you were doing most of the work.
That'd be nice.
Okay, Elizabeth?
Okay, so then the next one is airport. And there are two parts to the airport budget. One is in the general fund, and that's your general operations. And one is in Fund 80, which are airport capital improvements. We'll go ahead and cover the airport operating first. I haven't done much to change this, and I am totally open to what the county commission would like to do. It didn't seem in my historical look back that we had to adjust many things. It seemed like the one thing that might be something we want to take a closer look at was electricity, because that spiked a few years back, but it seems to have come back in line this year. Projecting that out. And then I did take out the facility and repair and maintenance based on a BLM contract. We'll bring that back if we go ahead and get another contract amendment with BLM to upgrade their facilities out there. But the only other change I made was to update the workers' comp estimate for the advisory board. Are there any questions, or is there anything specific within operations you wanted us to look at? I remind you that we do have money coming in right now through the CARES Act for airports that's available to go ahead and utilize for routine operations, and I will continue to utilize those funds until they're spent down on operations.
How much do we have? Round numbers.
20,000, I believe we just got another 9, which you'll be ratifying today. So I think there's about $29,000, and that's been ticking down as we've been spending this year. So we're probably down to about, with the 2 grants, about, I would say, 22,000.
Any questions, anybody?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and move on then to the airport capital improvements. And this is, I work with Chris Knox at Armstrong Consulting on this, and I did put in what they have submitted to the FAA as far as the 5-year capital improvement plan or outlook for 2021 to 2026. If you'll recall, the upcoming project was decided to go ahead and be paid out of local funds, and we're going to forego a FAA project this year. Those entitlement funds from FAA will roll over into next year. And so you can see that what the plan is to go ahead and do the crack seal of runway at 1230 with local funds for $100,000, and then the remaining that is requested are matching funds for future FAA projects, which are outlined in your backup documentation, until we hit to the seal and remark of runway 1230 for $110,000. That is going to be out of local funds again, but that won't hit until 2022. And the way they look at things is on a calendar year basis. So, but we do have adequate funds in the Airport Capital Improvement Fund to cover those costs at this time. If you would like to set up an additional transfer to cover future expenses, we can put that into the budget for next year, and so we would just add a transfer in the general fund out and a transfer in here, and those funds then are secured for utilization of match funds in future years. I have not set that up yet, but I am happy to add that in if that's something you want to do, is to continue to secure funding for future FAA match. Any thoughts?
Travis, did the board happen to say anything in regards to that? Because I know in the
Yeah,
past,
this,
we used to put money aside, add to it periodically, but this,
yeah, this is what the board approved of. The FAA, the sidewind runway, which this is for, the FAA doesn't, I don't know, they don't think it should be there, or they don't really like it that much, but it's used a lot for the med flights, so, you know, when the winds aren't right. So that one's definitely very important, and then, you know, everyone agreed with the schedule that is here.
so you don't think there's a need to put aside any more funds into the capital improvement?
I don't know what
as far as-
our ending fund balance is, what if you
That's
know?
what I was looking for, I thought you might know.
Yeah,
Good.
these new reports, they don't have that.
Yeah, give me just a second, I'll have that number for you. It was in excess of what's been requested through the next, based on what was submitted here. Adequate funds to cover the local match, plus the 210,000 local funds for those two projects. So let me just take a quick peek at that. Sorry, my computer's being unbelievably slow, but bear with me one more sec.
Elizabeth, if need be, we can go ahead and come back to that.
Okay, current fund balance is just a little over 337,000.
Yeah, so I don't think we need to,
Okay.
because there's only 210 through 2022 that's gonna be expended, so I don't see a need to transfer.
Okay, just checking. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions about the airport? Hearing none, we'll move on, Elizabeth, to the ag extension.
And I wonder if Holly Gatsby is on the phone, or someone from UNR?
Is someone on the phone from ag extension from UNR? Anyone? Don't see it, so maybe what we can do is kind of see if there's a way to get a hold of them. If not, we can move over to the senior center. Is that all right?
Yes, let me go ahead and just give Holly a quick email here and see if she plans to be here. And I will go ahead and see if she responds to that. Okay, so then let's go ahead and move ahead, and we'll come back to the senior center.
Okay.
And, that whole section there. And again, the senior center, the revenues as they relate to the, ad valorem taxes is not updated. I believe that, Lori, have you updated the rest, or have we just allowed those to carry forward? Looks like,
Title III funds and that?
yes,
Um,
you just carried those forward.
yes.
But they do balance as to revenues and expenditures. There has not been a requested change in staffing. That remains as it has been, and I have updated wages and benefits accordingly, and I will let Lori take it from there.
Once again, this department had a very adventurous year.
To say the least,
Between the construction and moving to the Elks Lodge and moving back, we could not have done it without maintenance. They were wonderful. And the staff was wonderful getting us through it, and then the COVID and the whole drive-through. I can't say I've ever had a budget year with this department or the library that was so upside down within about 3 months that I was beside myself.
But you're
Between
still,
packaging and food.
and you're still standing.
But we got through it. Thank heavens for COVID funds and a few other things. But otherwise, the budget is, yes, pretty status quo. We have seen increases in different costs, and we're looking at different avenues to try to keep those within. This budget's always a challenge, because there's a lot of costs in there that we don't have a lot of control over always. But, and then Vision for Aging's been doing some changing with their grant sources and trying to help everyone out a little more, due to these cost increases, and so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yes, we are looking at, replacing the roof this spring, it should got bid, and hopefully that's a whole lot smoother than the whole inside situation was. But it's very nice, and the seniors are very happy to be back in.
Do we anticipate any savings in overhead in terms of electricity and stuff, just from improvements on that?
You know, I think this year's gonna be a new one to find that out, even, even with propane, because we're not using as much propane as we used to do. So there's probably gonna be some adjustments, but until we get through that first year, I really don't know what they're gonna be.
Cool.
But, everything should be within the same budget, we just may be moving a few things around.
well, within your budget, one of the things that's gonna have to be looked at, just like we've done with other departments, road department, is the gas, the money you have set aside for fuel. With the trucks, you've got two trucks a day out, 3 trucks, and the price of gas is going up. We looked at that during the road department's budget as well. It's something that we should probably put something in there, or certainly address the rising costs of gas, because it's going to be a review. You've got those every single day, and a lot of miles on those vehicles, and a lot of gas is gonna be consumed.
And we do have grant funds to help with
Okay.
some of that cost, so yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that,
Okay.
I think we told Bill to plan for a 30% increase.
30%.
Yeah.
And there again, in the grant, there may be some areas we can move some funds around into that. Because once again, we have grant funds that help pay for some of the heating, which once again may be able to move.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it, unless you guys have some
Anybody got any
questions.
questions of the senior center? Hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Lori. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you, everybody.
Is she on with the Ag Extension right now? What's her name?
Holly,
Holly, are you on?
I don't see her up there. Let's see if I got a response from her here. Nope.
Okay, let's just move on to economic development then.
Okay. Okay, so economic development, again, there's no, request for, a change in FTEs. It's still the .75 grant writer, and then we have .25 of that position that's paid from emergency management, because this position assists with emergency management because they are heavily invested in grants as well. And so wages and benefits have been updated for the changes we spoke of earlier. Legal advertising in economic development is basically related to the need to advertise for the different grants, whether that's the CDBG public notices, SNPLMA, information out to the public to let them know what's going on with these grants as required in order to obtain the funding. There hasn't been a whole lot of change to this budget, I did write in the travel expenses. We have this year gone on CDBG and SNPLMA to